Hello and welcome back to Meteomatics. In the last video I explained the general structure of the API, and based on that we want to get the 2-meter temperature above Mont Blanc displayed for different times and intervals. Under the Getting Started heading you find the section Use a time interval. Here we also find an example. Starting on July 17th, 2020, we look at the temperature over the next 10 days with a temporal resolution of 1 day. When you click on the link, an overview of the selected period appears. July 17th on the far left x-axis and July 27th on the right. On the y-axis is the 2-meter temperature above Mont Blanc. With the mouse pointer you can now go to each individual point where date, time and the value itself are displayed. There's also an overview of the data shown at the bottom left. The example shown here uses our short notation. Alternatively, you could also directly specify July 27th. So we just delete the P term, replace it with 2 hyphens and type 2020 07 hyphen and 27. For the time step just select midnight. When you hit enter, it leads to the same result. Of note are the 2 hyphens between the dates. Let's go back to the previous notation and see what else is possible. Based on the example P10D, P1D, we now know that this means a time period of 10 days with daily values. In general, the time period always begins with P or PT. PT is used for shorter periods such as hours, minutes and seconds. P is used for years, months and days. Instead of the 10 days in our example, we want to see the temperature for a whole month. So we change the 10D to 1M. In addition, I am not only interested in daily values, but also in hourly values. P1D thus becomes PT for the shorter time period and 1H for the specification of an hour. After confirming the changes with the Enter key, the display and the associated values change immediately at the bottom left. With these settings, we have just looked a month into the future. Such considerations are of course also possible in the past. We change the start date to the 1st January of 2020 and look at 6 hourly values for the whole year. So just replace the 7 with 1 and the 17 with 01. And the 1 month to 1 year, and the 1 hour to 6 hours. The display changes again after a short moment. Instead of selecting a continuous period, you can also pass a list of times, which are separated by a comma. For example, we want to know what the temperature on January the 1st at midnight was over the past 3 years. We simply enter the 3 dates and confirm the entry. I just remove the last term from the date vector, and for simplicity I just select the 1st of January 2020, copy it and insert a comma. Do that 2 times and change the 2020 to 2018. and 2019. In addition, individual points can be combined with time vectors. For example, we select the 1st of January 2020 and then a time vector from the 2nd of January over 10 days in hourly resolution. So we just remove the two dates and enter the 2nd of January by copying the first date string. So change the 1 to the 2 and then add the P10D for the 10 days time span and PT1H for the hourly resolution. To make the whole query even more complex, you can also combine several time spans. Let's assume that we want to look at the temperature from January to March for 2018, 19 and 20. Here we type in all time vectors and separate them with a comma. So we are just removing the first time and then copying the time vector we had from our previous query. Change that to back to the 1st of January 2020. Replace the 1 year with 3 months and the 1 hours to 6 hours. And copy that date vector 2 more times, separated by a comma, and all that's left to do is change 2020 to 2018 and 2019. We are now visualizing the query as a CSV. After a short moment, a file opens, and that file contains all the periods that can be analyzed further. Just get that window over here. And it starts with the 1st of January 2018 for the months January, February, and March. And the same procedure repeats for 2019 and 2020. As you can see, a tremendous amount of date-time combinations can be constructed. An explanation of the queries shown here can also be found in our documentary under api.meteomatics.com in the Getting Started section. Within Use a Time Interval, there's a link for more detailed time description, and if you click on that, you just see all the explanations from today's video and further explanations for your own consideration. However, this is only the first step to take advantage of the comprehensive functions of the API. In the next video, we will look at different locations, grids and polygons around the world. I would be happy to see you in the next one. Cheers!